Griner, she said at a press conference that she will be speaking out about trans athletes being allowed to play. I believe if you've been transitioning to a woman, but you still have the strength of a guy, you gotta play with the guys, man. That's how I feel about it. But Brittney Griner, we got you home. So that
ready to get there. I'm ready to just learn from her. Got to play with her a little bit with USA, and I'm just ready to feed off her and just give all I can to the Phoenix Mercury.
A round of applause for my wife. Honestly, she had the hardest job. Honestly, thank you so much, babe.
This twist might be one of the craziest moments in the Brittney Griner WNBA drama yet. What started as quiet locker room gossip and cryptic posts online has exploded into a full-blown scandal that has everyone talking. Allisha Gray just dropped a jaw-dropping bombshell that's got the whole league on edge, and this one feels serious. Allisha's always been seen as calm and classy, never one to stir up drama, so for her to speak out like this, it screams that something big is happening. She's boldly claiming that the Atlanta Dream secretly covered the cost for Brittney Griner's alleged gender reassignment surgery. The fallout from this could be huge. People are now questioning shady spending, hidden agendas, and even whispering about a possible WNBA cover-up that could shake the league like never before. Why would any team risk something this wild? Could Brittney Griner be holding on to a massive secret that nobody else knows about? What makes this revelation so explosive is that it's not just about the surgery rumor. Brittney Griner has always been at the center of big controversies, whether it was her high-profile detainment in Russia or how the media constantly debates her role in the league. There's always been this air of mystery around her, and now it just got messier. Some fans call her a trailblazer, while others are convinced there's a side of the story the league desperately wants to keep buried. This is where Allisha Gray completely flips the script. She claims the Atlanta Dream, a team Brittney Griner doesn't even play for, secretly bankrolled her transition-related medical procedures. They didn't just support her publicly or cheer her on. Allisha says they paid for everything behind the scenes, off the books, and never asked a single question. Ever since this bombshell dropped, fans have been digging through old photos and videos like detectives.
Ball Association, right? But when you actually listen to Brittney Griner's voice is very, very masculine, okay? Now, Brittney Griner is also a lesbian, and we found out probably about, 3-4 months ago that Brittney Griner's lover, Cheryl, a woman, actually got pregnant. And a lot of people had questions, man. How did this happen? We actually haven't heard anything about a surrogate or anything like that. The announcement was just Brittney Griner and Cheryl are expecting. Now, we all know, guys, that two women cannot conceive.
Some people swear Brittney looks noticeably different compared to a few years ago, and they're convinced the proof is right there in certain clips if you watch closely. But here's the big question. What are they hiding? Could this scandal be way bigger than anyone thinks? Allisha spilled all of this during a now-deleted Instagram Live, and she wasn't holding back at all. She flat out said it on the live. Allisha told her viewers, "They think we don't see what's going on. Atlanta Dream been paying for stuff they got no business paying for. Brittney ain't even one of us. Why is our budget going towards surgeries that got nothing to do with basketball, guys?" That one quote alone left fans and even other players completely stunned. Sure, the live disappeared pretty fast, but not before people screen recorded it and shared it everywhere. Reddit threads, Twitter timelines, Instagram gossip pages, you name it. What made this even wilder is that Allisha didn't just throw shade. She basically accused the Atlanta Dream of shady financial moves. If what she's saying is true, it means team money, cash that's supposed to be for salaries, travel, equipment, and player development, was quietly being funneled into paying for personal medical procedures for a player who's not even on their team. And it's not just any player we're talking about. It's Brittney Griner, the one athlete many believe the league goes out of its way to protect. Things got even shadier after Allisha's live went viral.
You have 10 points, 5 rebounds. We see the Atlanta Dream as being very...
Wow, what an incredible plot twist. Remember Brittney Griner? She is the young WNBA player who spent 10 months in a Russian prison. And this is really just a story of someone who was so arrogant, assumed that the way that she was living in America must have been the absolute worst because she's a Black person. And obviously Black Americans are suffering so much. You know, they're suffering more than anybody in the entire world. And you can believe that if you've never stepped foot out of your own country. And then you realize that actually what Black Americans are suffering from is petulance and a lack of education, right? Because they haven't stepped out of their own country and they don't realize that we are unbelievably spoiled, just as is every single American. If you are breathing in America today, you are suffering from privilege, tremendous privilege. But of course, Brittney Griner didn't know this back in 2020 when she didn't think that she should stand for the national anthem. In fact, she thought that the national anthem shouldn't be played at all during the WNBA season, adding that she would not be on the court even for the anthem if it were to be continued to be played before games. That was how strongly she felt about the disgust of hearing the anthem play because Black people are suffering in this country. The ridiculous bratty protest brought to you from Colin Kaepernick, right? Oh my gosh, we're all earning millions of dollars for learning to dribble a ball or throw a football. But obviously we're suffering somehow, right? Aren't we suffering? No, we are not.
Everyone was waiting for the Atlanta Dream's front office to say something, but they stayed completely silent. No statement, no denial, no PR spin, nothing at all. And that silence? It felt louder than any response they could have given. Pretty soon, other WNBA players started dropping cryptic hints online. Vague tweets, mysterious IG stories, all pointing to drama bubbling behind the scenes. It felt like the quiet before a huge storm, and fans were eating up every second of it. One Washington Mystics player jumped on Twitter with a shady post. "That's why I always say, watch where the money go." Then, a former Atlanta Dream player casually tweeted, "Not surprised. Ivan knew they were on funny time." They didn't drop names or confirm anything. But in the WNBA world, those posts were basically a neon sign saying, "Yeah, we know something shady's going on." But the biggest mystery still remains. Why would the Atlanta Dream allegedly fund Brittney's surgery in the first place? Who approved something like that? And even crazier, what could they possibly be gaining from it all? This is exactly why Allisha's claims hit so hard, because she's never been the type to stir up drama just for attention. Allisha has always had one of the cleanest reputations in the league. She's known for vibing with her teammates, working hard in practice, and giving her all on game day. Off the court, she's completely stayed out of messy scandals. The only time her name was tied to any controversy was years ago during the University of North Carolina academic athletics scandal, where the school got investigated for shady academic perks for athletes. Even then, Allisha wasn't really involved. She was just barely caught up in the mix. That's why her stepping up now with these wild accusations feels so shocking. Allisha eventually left UNC and transferred out. And ever since, she's been one of those players the league could always count on to have a clean, family-friendly image.
Man, what does this clown know? He originally denied breaking laws in another country. Play the clip.
I think it's a crime, honestly, to separate someone for any reason. So I definitely will be speaking up against that legislation and those laws that are trying to be passed, for sure.
It sounds like he's speaking from a place of experience. And what was a crime was when they released you from prison. I'm just waiting on the whistleblower that shared the locker room with this Sasquatch to go ahead and come forward with the elephant in the room. The amount of females that are hell-bent on erasing women's athletics in the name of woke politics is just staggering to me. Also, let's not forget that sports is also an avenue for affordable, if not free, education. So allowing a biological male to take up the spaces of biological females in sport is only robbing them of more opportunities. Everybody deserves fairness in sports, which is why biological women need their own.
It's safe to say Brittney Griner is confusing everybody these days. But now it's just getting weird.
A lot of people believe that Brittney Griner is the first male to play in the WNBA.
For her to throw herself right in the middle of this chaos, especially when it doesn't even affect her personally, says way more than any interview or PR statement ever could. But here's what a lot of people haven't noticed yet. While it looks like Allisha has zero reason to be involved, this might be way deeper than simple drama. At this point, it's not just about Brittney or the Atlanta Dream. It's about the reputation of the entire WNBA. This is an organization that claims to stand for fairness, equality, and no shady business. So if Allisha's claims are true, it could expose cracks that fans never thought existed. For Allisha, this isn't just gossip. It's about speaking up for younger athletes who don't have the voice or power to call out the unfair stuff they see happening around them. And let's be real, WNBA players have been louder than ever about being underpaid and undervalued for the insane amount of work they put in. Complaints about underfunding never stop. Players earning way less than they deserve, staff stretched way too thin, and budgets already barely holding together. So if Allisha's claims are true, and team money really was secretly redirected, that's not just messy, it's a straight-up betrayal to everyone grinding every single day for this league. Imagine finding out that a team may have secretly paid for a surgery that had nothing to do with them, while players and staff are already working with a razor-thin budget. It would feel like a massive slap in the face. If these rumors turn out to be real, the WNBA will have a lot to answer for, especially if it means other players' chances and resources were sacrificed just to cover one player's personal procedure. And like every huge WNBA scandal, the theories have already started flying around, and some of them are sounding way too shady to ignore. Get this, some people are convinced the Atlanta Dream didn't just misuse team funds on their own. They actually got the green light from league executives. These folks believe this wasn't some rogue move at all. The team allegedly had full approval from way up top. But why would the league sign off on something so risky? According to these theories, the WNBA has been working overtime to push a shiny image of inclusivity and progressiveness, especially with public opinion being so divided right now.
Griner is clearly a man. Why is she able to play in the WNBA? Behind this lies three terrifying truths. Brittney Griner has been married twice. Although she has publicly acknowledged that she is a lesbian, she refused to undergo the Olympic medical examination. This is because she was born with a Y chromosome and has multiple characteristics, including male characteristics. However, her parents preferred girls. Griner was assigned female at birth, and her legal gender identity is female. This is why she can play in the WNBA. This is the key factor in her eligibility. Additionally, BG undergoes hormone therapy to adjust her physical characteristics to align more closely with her male identity. As a result, she possesses a masculine physique, which is extremely rare in women's basketball. Especially at 6 feet 9 inches tall, she holds a significant advantage over physically weaker female players. Since Brittney Griner joined the Atlanta Dream Team, the team's ticket sales have skyrocketed, attracting a large number of LGBTQ fans. Her transgender male identity.
Some insiders think league execs were terrified of facing backlash if they didn't show total support in a big public way, so they quietly made sure everything was handled behind closed doors. If word about Brittney leaked without being carefully controlled, the media storm would have been absolutely insane. So maybe league execs really were scared of how bad it could get. But if you think that theory is wild, the next one is even crazier. There are whispers that the Atlanta Dream struck quiet deals with certain sponsors, especially after the whole Kelly Loeffler drama that already had the team under a microscope. Some fans believe the Dream promised to go big on progressive moves for sponsors, and secretly funding a high-profile surgery could have been a flashy PR play to prove they're the ultimate allies. Here's where it gets dangerous. If that money wasn't properly disclosed, the team could end up facing major fraud accusations. And if that happens, this whole thing would explode faster than anyone could imagine. And then there's the most jaw-dropping theory of them all. Some people seriously believe Brittney might be holding explosive secrets about certain league execs. According to this theory, the payment wasn't just support. It was hush money in disguise. Pay her off, keep her quiet, and make it look like a noble act of support. Yeah, it sounds like a wild conspiracy. But with all the chaos swirling around the WNBA lately, more and more fans are starting to wonder if there's actually some truth hiding behind the rumors.
We're not asking you to get paid what the men get paid. We're asking you to get paid the same percentage of revenue shared.
Okay.
You know what I'm
saying?
Got
it. So that's a huge misconception.
That's a huge misconception.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, because every video is like, oh, this person gets paid this person gets paid that, right?
So I want to be really clear about that. Like, I don't think I should get paid the same as LeBron.
Right.
But the percentage of revenue, like, for example, they sell my jersey in Mandalay Bay, I don't get a dime.
You don't get any money from jersey sales?
That's crazy.
In the NBA, they have percentages of revenue shared for the players, right? So jersey sales, obviously their TV contracts. You see these every year, these contracts get bigger and bigger and bigger, right?
Yeah, massive.
But that's because their CBA, it negotiates where if the owners are making certain types of money, they get that as well.
Got it.
When you have the White House press secretary saying it's particularly important to bring this particular American citizen home because she is an LGBTQ woman of color, they start to go, why? I mean, seriously, why? Like, why does that make her specifically more important to bring?
Everyone deserves the right to play. Everyone deserves the right to come here, sit in these seats, and feel safe, and not feel like there's a threat or they can't be who they are. Definitely will be speaking up against that legislation and those laws that are trying to be passed.
People online are now calling for a full-blown investigation into Brittney and the Atlanta Dream. Social media is blowing up, with fans praising Allisha for being fearless enough to speak out and finally expose where the league's money might really be going. One Reddit user posted, "Allisha Gray just risked her career to tell the truth. Watch how fast they try to blackball her." Another viral tweet read, "So we just gonna pretend it's normal for a team to pay for someone else's surgery? Sleep if you think this isn't deeper." But not everybody is convinced. Some fans are calling the whole situation a transphobic distraction, saying Allisha is just stirring up drama for attention. Others are brushing it off completely, posting, "Even if it's true, who cares? Let people live." The divide is real. Some think Allisha just blew the lid off one of the biggest WNBA scandals ever, while others think the entire situation is just messy noise. But here's the thing. This drama isn't just about Brittney's alleged transition. The real issue is the money, where it came from, who signed off on it, and how it was actually spent.
Who they let out to get her back.
The merchant of death.
The merchant of death. An arms dealer that wanted to kill American citizens, according to the reports. That's who they let out. For her. You would think that you would be smiling, you would be ecstatic, you would be happy, and something like this wouldn't faze you at all. The fact that it does is disturbing. I'll leave it at that.
Allisha's whole point is clear. The league has a serious transparency problem. And honestly, longtime fans aren't shocked. Remember when Brittney was detained in Russia? The WNBA and mainstream media painted her as this innocent, wrongfully imprisoned hero. But behind closed doors, people were already whispering, why was she even traveling with hash oil in the first place? The WNBA's public image and what really happens behind the scenes have always felt like two completely different stories. And this latest mess might finally blow the whole thing wide open. Now we've got claims that a team allegedly paid for medical procedures that should have been privately covered or handled through insurance. To a lot of fans, it feels like yet another example of Brittney getting perks and protection that no other player in the league would ever see. Meanwhile, other WNBA stars keep getting fined for the tiniest things: dress code slip-ups, harmless post-game tweets, you name it.
Now, when you actually see Brittney Griner actually try to dunk, you're going to be like, oh, okay, Brittney Griner's a female. But still, we got questions, guys. Well, Cheryl Griner actually gave birth. And you guys are going to be astonished, man. In this little interview clip we're going to play, Brittney Griner pretty much has confirmed that she's a male, in my opinion. Because if you are a mother, you actually want to be called mom, mother, something like that, right? Brittney Griner wants to be called the opposite.
Yet Brittney, she's supposedly getting treated like royalty. For anyone still wondering why this alleged surgery is such a huge deal, if the rumors are true, it means Brittney was secretly funded by people who had absolutely no obligation to her. It screams special privilege, backroom deals, and favoritism at the very top. And the craziest part? With how fast this story is spreading, it feels like it's only a matter of time before it completely explodes. When that happens, the fallout could be brutal. We're talking major internal investigations, the WNBA being forced to dig through every penny of the Atlanta Dream's financial records, And if that money trail looks shady, people are losing jobs. But it wouldn't just end there, because once sponsors realize their money might have been used for secret payments, those sponsorship deals could vanish overnight, and that would shake the entire league to its core. Sponsors don't stick around when scandals like this erupt, and that's not even getting into the legal nightmare this could bring. If investigators find the cash was moved around illegally, this could turn into fraud.
Noticed her habit of never wearing a bra, which made many people wonder if she might not be a woman. First, abnormally tall physique and masculine body shape. Griner is 2.06 meters tall, much taller than ordinary.
First month attendance is up 156% from last year. It's averaging 1.3 million viewers. And just for reference, the NBA was averaging 1.6 million viewers. The ladies are flying in chartered flights. Despite that, they're still losing $50 million this year.
I think there's probably one other job that you're about to get into that is really hard and really scary. You're about to be a mom. How is that feeling? Pops. Oh, let me get it together. About to be a pops. Please.
Embezzlement. Real criminal charges that nobody would be able to spin away. And then there's Allisha Gray. By blowing the lid off all this, she's basically painted a giant target on her back. Everyone knows players who mess with the league's carefully polished image often pay the price, whether it's quiet blackballing, suspensions, or heavy fines. Fans are already speculating what's going to happen to her if this chaos keeps getting bigger. We all know how the WNBA handles anyone who dares to speak out. They've got a long track record of silencing players who rock the boat. So where does this leave Allisha? Her future in the league is completely up in the air, because at the end of the day, this story isn't just about Brittney Griner. It's about transparency, accountability, and whether the WNBA actually lives up to the values it's always preaching. Allisha didn't just stir the pot, she flipped the whole table upside down. Now the league has two choices. Finally come clean about what's been happening behind the scenes and make it right, or try to bury the truth like they always do. But this time feels different. Fans are watching closer than ever. Players are whispering behind the scenes, and the receipts just keep stacking up. And once that floodgate bursts open, there's no way to shut it again. So, what do you think? Was Allisha being brave or just reckless by spilling all this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more of these wild behind-the-scenes stories, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with your friends. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. See you on the next one.